ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome you all on our today's session. So today we are entering Canto number 3. Actually, to be very honest, Canto 3 should be read by everyone. You know, there's a very nice kind of conversation between Vidura and Maitra Muni. And that's actually, it gives all the sense as well. So we'll find everything in it. And when I wanted to read Srimad Bhagavatam for the very first time, and I have been asked to read Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3. And so that is the essence, you know, you will get everything in this Canto 3. So even Canto 3, Canto 4, in fact, the Bhagavatam Mahatmya says that no, even chanting one sloka or half of the sloka is glorious as well. So what we speak of understanding whole cantos, you know. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining again. And so we touched in an overview session of Canto 2 yesterday, and we understood, tried to understood a bit about the cosmology, how this creation happens, and what our Vedic literature gives us that how creation happened, right? And then at the end of Canto 2, nearly in 10th chapter, all right, that's nice tune. So at the end of Canto 2, while Shaunak Rishi, they asked question to Suta Goswami, is that okay, you mentioned earlier about Vidura coming to Hastinapur and actually asking Dhritarashtra to take renounce order of life and give away that, you know, his attachment to the palaces. And he like Vidura so told him more harsh word so that, you know, he could leave that place, and that happened. So they wanted to hear more about Vidura. And just at that time, you know, in first canto, we just heard that, you know, Vidura came back from his pilgrimage yatra, and he delivered Dhritarashtra. So right now, the Shaunak Rishi, they asked Suta Goswami that please explain elaborately about those things. And again, hence we enter Canto 3, where we will be hearing about the conversation between two more personalities, like devotees of Lord, Vidura himself and Uddhava. Uddhava is as good as Krishna. And then we will continue for hearing about Vidura and Maitra Muni conversation. Those are again glorious. So see, we are actually, so Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies these devotees, and these devotees are actually talking only about Krishna. Their only discussion of point is Krishna. So Uddhava, so what happened when Yadu dynasty, is somehow annihilated by Lord Krishna's plan, and Uddhava was remained. And Uddhava also wanted to, when he heard that Krishna is about to leave this world and going back to his, he said, okay, please take me with you as well. Then we'll see it, but I'm just saying in narration that Lord Krishna told, no, you need to be here because you are as me, and I have actually gone through so many places. Even I went to Indraloka, even I went to to meet Bali Maharaj, but I haven't gone to Badrikashram. So please, on my behalf, you go to Badrikashram. And hence he said, okay, you stay there. And then the conversation goes like Vidura. Let's see what happens, how Vidura start going over there. And then Suta Goswami actually narrating a conversation between Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj inquire more about how Vidura renounced the home. So the question is, when someone is living in a very aristocratic place, he is living in a palace, in fact, right? And how could at once he gave up everything and he entered towards the march of pilgrimage? How could that happen? So Parikshit Maharaj inquired these questions, and then Sukadeva Goswami started discussing the same thing. And he said, okay, where the discussion between Maitreya Muni and Uddhava and Vidura, these all took place. Please describe more onto those. Then Sukadeva Goswami started narrating about the atrocities of Dhritarashtra. So Sukadeva Goswami narrates that the circumstances which led Vidura to leave home, and eventually he met Maitreya Muni. In between he met Uddhava as well. And what happened before the war of Kurukshetra, battlefield of Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra, he tried to kill the fatherless nephew, like all the Pandavas. And in fact, he didn't stop Duryodhan to do these activities. He has an attachment to his son that, okay, my son should be like ruling the kingdom, and hence he wanted to get rid of the Pandavas, though they were nephew and they were actually deserved of those kingdom. But still, even when Draupadi was being distraught, then also he didn't try to stop it. And then these were the narration given by Sukadeva Goswami that says Kauravas didn't take the words of Lord very seriously. And by saying that, Sukadeva Goswami elaborates more. They're saying that King Dhritarashtra, he was blind by his eyes. Also, he was blind by his knowledge too. And just because to nourish his dishonest son, he tried to set a fire on the house of faith fatherless nephews of the Pandavas. So we knew about the Lakshagraha, like that were made by wax, and they Duryodhana wanted to burn those. And in every single force are not capable of protecting devotees than Lord Krishna himself. And then Krishna had somehow arranged his plan and saved Pandavas at every steps. Even he saved Draupadi. So Draupadi, when he was getting disturbed, and see, imagine a person who having a kind of strength of pulling hundreds and hundreds of elephants, Dusasana, he was disturbing Draupadi. But when Draupadi prayed to Lord Krishna came in the form of sari, right, her cloth. So Krishna can come in any form, whatever he desires. And he became the cloth, and Dushasana was pulling it, and he got tired, but he could not be disturbed. So this is how Krishna helps the devotee in whatever way they are, right? So the only shelter of Draupadi was that time was Krishna, and Krishna saved her, helped her to get out of that. And then by seeing all these things, actually Vidura advised. Vidura says, please see the Pandavas, they do not have father and they are worthy of this kingdom. So please give them kingdom. And when he warned that, Bhishma, and Bhishma is actually breathing like snake. He's hissing like snake. So he is so angry. and even everyone in the Pandava are angry. They were righteous and they are capable of fighting as well. So please, and also he advised that Krishna, who is a Yadu, king of all Yadus, he is on their side and he is supreme personality of Godhead as well. So please give them their share. And he instructed one important lessons over there to the Dhritarashtra, said that, we should get rid of, you should get rid of the son who do good, like, who do no good for the whole family. Because of him, everyone is suffering and you are actually going towards sinful activity. So you should get rid of your son as well. But by hearing this, Duryodhana insulted Vidura with many bad words. He said, you are a son of maid servant, and you are actually keeping your health because of ours, and still you are saying against us, and you are planning against us, and you are favoring to our enemies, and you should go away right now from here, and you should go away from here just with your breath and nothing else. And that insult to Vidura done by Duryodhana, he took as a blessing. So that's, and again, learning comes that as we advance in spirituality, where do we become surrendered or taking shelter of Krishna, whatever the problems or miseries comes to us, we try to understand this as a blessings of Krishna. And by seeing that a blessing of Krishna, Vidura at this very moment left the place. And he left the place and he went towards pilgrimage, because he was already a devotee of Krishna. And by seeing this misery as mercy, he left the home. By this, Vidura then travels to many places. Vidura traveled towards the holy places and where deities were situated. He took so many darshans. He went through so many cities and villages, and he actually roamed around as a mendicant, so that no one could recognize him. He traveled and reached to called as Pravas Kshetra, and where Vidura got to know that result of Kurukshetra war, that the war has been actually finished. And then Vidura actually visited so many places near bank of Saraswati, and he went to so many temples where deities of Lord Vishnu were there. He made their obeisances, he prayed to Lord Krishna, and then at the bank of Yamuna, he met Uddhava, and Vidura embraced him and inquired so many questions. Vidura inquired about the welfare of all the Kurus and Yadus and everyone. Is like Krishna Balram doing well? Is all like, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Ugrasena, Samba, and all, are they doing good? He inquired about more, like, the Pandavas, the Kunti Maharani, and Dhritarashtra as well. But after inquiring everything, it's again then Uddhava, he asked about, Vidura asked the questions about Lord Krishna also. And by just hearing that Krishna word, Uddhava, actually he went into trance. He forgot everything. He was just remembering the past times of Krishna. It is being said that he got silence for a moment, and a moment, or that is being called as 48 minutes. So he was feeling a deep separation, and he was remembering all the past times of Krishna from Vrindavan, Dwarika, and Mathura, from here and there. Once from this Leela, one from Mathura Leela, one from Vrindavan Leela, and everything is coming onto his mind. That is how he was feeling so much separation that, oh, my great friend has went now. And then he could not bear the pain that, Lord Krishna, who is actually making so much welfare for everyone, and he has left this mortal world, and he has left me alone. And he started remembering. Then actually it's been described in the purport that, he went in trance, and his mind actually went to Vaikuntha and to the Golok Vrindavan. He was just thinking like he was actually with Krishna. And after some time, he again regained his position, okay, in this mortal world. And he said, okay. And then he started narrating those glorious pastimes to Vidura. He said, when actually it being said that Uddhava, he's a great devotee of Lord Krishna. And even in his childhood, he used to play with the dolls of Krishna, right? And many a times he used to forget about his breakfast just by with playing with the dolls of Krishna as well. And there is a nice verse comes here. So that no, I'll read the translation. It says, Uddhava served the Lord continuously from childhood, and in his old age, that attitude of service never slackened. So as soon as he was asked about the message of Lord, he at once remembered all about him. So the point is that when there is some spirituality in it or devotional service is there, it never goes down. It always goes increasing, increasing, and increasing. And it's being said that the devotees, they never get tired of hearing Krishna Katha. So though the Krishna Katha is so pleasing, it satisfies everything, still devotees are not satisfied of hearing Krishna Katha, isn't it? So the point here is that hearing Krishna Katha is so nectarian that though it satisfied everything, but still the devotees are not satisfied of hearing more and more Katha. And hence they hear more and more glorious talks of Lord Krishna. And then it's being described that he actually started like pouring tears from his eyes, and it was flowing. He was remembering everything over there. He says, my dear Vidura, it's like the sun of the world, Lord Krishna has set, and our houses has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. So time is now killing us. And how can I say to you about any welfare? Because Krishna is not here. So it's been his appearance uh, and disappearance is being compared as sun. So we understood earlier as well that when sun comes and sets down, but still right now we cannot see sun in our Glasgow, but actually sun is somewhere there. In a similar way, there are two types of pastimes Krishna happened. So one is the lila which we see, like the when Krishna was here in Dwapar Yuga. So the Gopagana or the all the people in the Golok Vrindavan or Mathura or Dwarika, they could see Krishna doing pastimes. Right now, we cannot see, but still pastimes of Krishna is going on. Right. So there are two kinds of leelas. One is where we can see Pratyaksha, otherwise one is Prakatya and Aprakatya actually. He's doing his pastime, everyone could see, and other we can't see, but pastime is going on. Right. And then he said that Krishna's appearance as well as disappearance is transcendental. And he actually started glorifying Krishna, and nearly the 10th canto is again comes here. He started narrating about how Krishna did all the pastimes in Vrindavana. He is actually sorry. And he describes a nice verse. He says, Krishna is the ornament of all ornaments. What does that mean? That means that, when we people wear some ornament, we look glorious. Like, try to understand it. When we wear some ornaments and we do some makeup and all the things, we look so much, beautiful or handsome or glorious. But the ornaments itself look glorious when they are being owned by Lord Krishna. Right. So ornament, they don't have any quality, but when Krishna wore them, that ornament looks so glorious. That's why Krishna's face is called as ornament of the ornaments. Right. And that's how he explained about Lord Krishna's beauty. And he said that Lord appeared in this mortal world by his eternal potency, Yoga Maya, and that eternal potency is actually is it okay, everyone? I think some problem had with network. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's fine.
Yes, we can perfectly.
Okay, thank you. And then he said that, even Mahavishnu, who is again one of the portion of Krishna, he want to see the opulences of Krishna as well. So see, he's glorifying more to the supremacy of Lord Sri Krishna. And he said, in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the Lord is merciful towards liberated soul. It's like an important point. Prabhupada writes in his purport that, in the Vaikuntha Loka, who are Nitya Mukta, or the living entities who are liberated, Krishna is merciful towards him. But in his pastime in this mortal world, he is merciful even to the fallen souls who are Nitya Baddha. Nitya Baddha means who are conditions forever. So we are actually conditioned by the three modes. And Krishna is even merciful to us in this world, in the mortal world. But in Vaikuntha world, we need to be Nitya Mukta. We need to be liberated to get mercy of him. And by glorifying this, he says, we understood about his 6 opulences yesterday, the opulences of Lord Krishna. He said he excel in all the opulences. And also he hide his potencies to everyone, like a same person, some person is doing his job or working, same that. And he glorified Krishna, saying that even Mother Yashoda, being his mother, serving his, though he is Krishna, but still he wanted to be served as a son. And he described that all the even demigods of other upper planet and lower and middle universal planetary system, they all came when Yudhishthira Maharaj did the Rajasuya Yajna. So Rajasuya Yajna, there are 3 Rajasuya Yajna being done by Maharaj Yudhishthira after the battlefield, after conquering the kingdom. There are 3 Rajasuya Yajna being done by him. And in everything, Krishna was there for the whole sacrifice. Then he started describing about the Brajavasis, the how Krishna played with them, like laughing with them, making some humor and exchanging the glances. Even when it's being described in 10th canto that Krishna used to eat from the mouths of the Gopaganas. So like they used to put some buttermilk in their mouth, and Krishna could punch their mouth and the whole buttermilk will come out from them and Krishna could drink it. So that kind of pastime what Krishna did, even that's actually making illusion for even Brahmaji. And that's why we see a Brahma Bilochan Lila comes up in 10th canto. And then he glorifies how Krishna could have wanted, he could have killed Kansa right away after his appearance, after his birth, but just to show everyone, to make his Leela, he went away as if he's afraid of Kamsa. That is when the glories, this is a glories given by Uddhava, saying that Krishna, if he wanted, he could have killed Kamsa right away, but he went to Vrindavan as if he's afraid of Kamsa. And by these activities, it makes everyone bewildered. And that is why it's called as inconceivable. People could not understand Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead because of these pastimes, and so many pastimes on that. He says, he was born in the prison house of Vasudeva, but he is unborn. So he is Aja. There is no birth to him. We seen yesterday as well. But he's saying he took birth in prison house of Vasudeva. How could he be? And he said, therefore, and he out of fear he became incognito in Nanda Maharaj house, and he was alone there, just keeping in the shelter of everyone. And he flew from Mathura with fear. And even when there was a fight with Jarasandh, he ran away from the war, though he is the strongest one. And these incidents bewilder everyone. And he's saying, actually, this incident is distressing me as well. And that how then Vidura, so Uddhava started glorifying to his Krishna very more. He said, he begged pardon from his parents for his inability to protect him. Though he protect everyone, but he is begging pardon from them. And he described about the Sisupal. He got liberated in the Yagyas, before the Yagya. And then he moved towards, he said that Lord Krishna is the master of all kinds of three. So there are three combinations, and three combinations goes like the three worlds, three Purusha avatar, three Guna avatar, three potencies, Chitta Shakti, Maya Shakti, and Tata Shakti. So Chitta Shakti is actually internal potency, and Tata Shakti is with the living entities. So, and the Maya Shakti is the external potency. So there are three things. So one is his internal potency, and one is external potency. External potency is Maya Shakti, and internal potency is Chitta Shakti. And we, living entity, are Jiva Shakti, or we can call it Tata Shakti. So we have a choice. We discussed earlier as well. We can't choose our birth, we can't choose our death, but we have a choice. So the Jiva Shakti or Jiva, they have a choice to go this way towards Chitta Shakti, or to go this way towards the Maya Shakti. We want to get illusioned by Maya, or we want to take shelter of Krishna, taking shelter of Chitta Shakti. So it's an kind of free will given to us. So if we take shelter of Krishna, then we are under his protection. And if we take shelter to Maya, then we will be bewildered by the illusory energies of Maya. So that's again has a choice to us what we want to go or where we want to go. And then here Kiran explains about the three pairs of opulences. Like he is full of wealth, full of strength, full of fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. The six opulences he concluded as three pairs of them. By explaining this more, and he says a very, very nice verse, very, very important verse as well. He says, what is the need, or where shall I take any more shelter, or where shall I go to find any more shelter? Because no one is more merciful than Krishna. He says Krishna is the most merciful. Why? Because he has given shelter to even Putana. Aho Bakiyam Istana Kalakutam. So Baki is the Bakasur sisters, small sister, younger sister. She's Putana. He said the Putana, he has came with an intention to kill Krishna by feeding her breast, which was poisoned. So she came by putting some poison or Kalakutam, there's called a very deadly poison on her breast, so that if Krishna drink it, he will die. So one questions might come up, like when Kansa, when Kansa wanted to kill all the children, they are born between 10 days in their providence, maybe in Mathura and Vrindavan. Then a question comes in that how could she went to Krishna's house first? How to, I mean Nanda Maharaj house first to meet Krishna, isn't it? She could have gone to any other child first. But Acharya explains that Krishna thought, why other kids will die? Let her come to me first. And within his heart, Krishna inspired her to come towards the same path and take shelter of Krishna. And then Uddhava says that, if someone who is actually came to kill me, still that lady has been given, what? He has given a dhatra uchitam. She was given as a position of mother. Just imagine a lady coming to kill a 3 to 4 days child, infant, we can say, with poison on her breast, and that personality is giving a position of mother. So a learning comes here is that great personalities, as when they actually grab the good things and ignore the bad things over there, right? Again, also it's a what's the good name? even the swan, I guess, yeah. The swans, what they do, even you give them the milk with water mixed, they will just drink the milk and water will be left alone. And that's the quality of devotees. And then Krishna is saying, okay, you have came to feed me, I will take your milk, but I will leave the poison, right? And one of the devotee was explaining here, he said, Krishna closed his eyes. He said, oh my God. He meditated on Lord Shiva. He said, Lord Shiva, please come and drink the poison, and I will drink the milk only, and I'll give her the position of mother. And just imagine, by just drinking the milk, he could suck her life. And she went out. Actually, she was not in that place. Krishna knew that Putana is so huge, so he went so many far distance, and then Putana got died. And as Putana died, she expanded into her normal form, and she was so huge. And then that's again a huge long story. And learning comes here is that this is the Putana is a symbol of false guru, false teacher, who may say that, okay, I will give you destination or good destination or towards Lord Krishna, but they might cheat. And she came with a good intention to feed milk. Feeding milk is a good intention, but in her heart is polluted. She wanted to kill. And also it's been described that Putana is again, it was again given, Bali Maharaj, when Bali Maharaj Yagya was happening, at that time, Vamana Dev, he came in the Yagya, and the Bali Maharaj sister, she thought, okay, wow, he is looking so, so good, dwarf, and it looks like, I should feed her milk. And when she heard about that, how Bali Maharaj took everything, Vamana Dev took everything from Bali Maharaj, she became angry and said, I think we should give her poison. And so the intention of her feeding poison as well as feeding milk, both is being fulfilled in this way. And she got a position of mother at the end. And that's what Uddhava is saying. Like, he's saying that, how someone can take other shelter. No one can be more merciful than him, who has granted position of mother to a Putana. Though she was unfaithful and she had prepared deadly poisons on her breast. And then he says more about how Krishna killed all the demons which was sent by Kansa. And then from there he went to the pastimes of Braja, like how Kansa been brought him to protect the cow pastures of Nanda Maharaj. Then he went to the Govardhan Leela, and then he explained about the Brahma Vilochan Leela. He explained all these things to Uddhava because he was actually thinking about him. And he lifted the Govardhan hill to actually defy the proud of Indra, because Indra was so proud here that, okay, how can someone stop my puja, or how they can stop my offering. So Krishna did the Govardhan Leela, and then he subdued Kaliya, and who was a poisonous snake, and he danced over Kaliya. And then again, so many pastimes out of Vrindavan also been described, how Krishna took education in Sandipuni Munis. And a learning comes from here that Krishna, what is the need of him to take education, or what is the need of him to take shelter of spiritual master? The thing that he is teaching us as a common person, we should approach a spiritual master. See, in chapter 7, in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 2, Krishna says that, no, hey Arjuna, I will give you the knowledge of this material as well as spiritual. And after knowing this knowledge, nothing more shall remain to know. So imagine if someone is giving a knowledge and he's clearly saying that, after this knowledge, nothing else would remain to know, then for that personality, what is the need of a spiritual master? In 64 days, he learned all the 64 arts, from political till everything, from political martial art, from Artha Shastra and Dharma Shastra, everything. In one day, everything is complete. And by knowing this, Sandipani Mani, his wife, they consulted, okay, what we should take the Guru Dakshina. They asked that, okay, please bring back our uh, dead son. Though Krishna fulfilled that as well. No one is capable of fulfilling that, dead personality to bring back. But Krishna fulfilled their desire. And then he described more about how Krishna killed outside of Vrindavana, and all about Kurukshetra war. And then how Krishna entered in Dwarika. And then he got married with so many wives. And by how he kidnapped Rukmini, and how he married Jambavati, Satyabhama, Nagnajita. And then he said that he actually went to Indraloka to get Parijata tree from heaven for just to please her wife, right? And Parijata tree, actually the flower, it actually comes in heaven, in Indraloka. And but Indra been envious, and it's been described. Prabhupada says, in the purport that he's a handpacked of his wife, so he tried to fight with Krishna, but that's nothing. Then and then he described how he fought with Narkasur and killed him, and then 10,000 women were rescued from the custody of Narkasur. And all the women, they said, okay, we do not know anything but you as our husband. And then Krishna had 16,108 queens, and from those he made so different palaces for everyone. And then he begot 10 sons and 1 daughter from each of those, right? And then he described about how Krishna did so many other pastimes and glorified his devotees, like Kalyavan was killed through Muchukand. Jarasandha was killed through Bhima. Then the glorification of his pure devotees also being there. And Krishna again explains in Bhagavad Gita as well to Arjuna that just you become my instrument. In Virata Rupa, when we see in chapter now, universal form Virata Rupa, there Arjuna could see that everyone in this battlefield are going in the mouth of Krishna. So in one sense, everyone is dying or everyone is dead. And Krishna says, so just become the instrument and be glorious. So that's only because to glorify a devotee, his devotee. And by saying that, he said, even Yudhi dynasty being destroyed as well. We'll see it how Yudhi dynasty got destroyed. It comes in chapter 4 that they had some sacrifices and they went. We'll see that story as well. And then he described more about Krishna coming in Dwarika, like after the war, Yudhishthira Maharaj was given the emperor of the earth. Even he protected the embryo of Uttara. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj performed the horse sacrifices. Then he ruled over Dwarika as an ideal ruler. And then he was being served by the goddesses of fortune. A nice point before we end today. He says, Krishna can be understood only by bhakti. There is no other way to understand Krishna. How he says, every living entity is controlled by supernatural forces, and thus his sense enjoyment is also under the control of that supernatural force. No one therefore can put his faith in Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has become a devotee of Lord by rendering devotional service. See, these kind of pastimes what Krishna has did actually bewildered even the great sages, what to speak of us, right? And hence Uddhava is saying that by devotional service to Lord's feet, the persons can understand Krishna well, right? And that is how we are actually nearing to chapter 3, and we will be discussing chapter 4 tomorrow, right? I think in chapter 4 it comes like how Yadu dynasty Yadu dynasty got annihilated everything, and then Vidura surrendered to Uddhava, saying, please become my spiritual master and narrate the story of Krishna to me. And Uddhava said, because he was so elder, he respectfully says, Maitra Muni is there. We'll discuss it tomorrow anyway. Okay, I would like to end here. If anyone have any questions or any feedback, please let me know.
I have one question. So I have one Bhagavatam book. So that is Canto 7, Chapter 2. So is it good to start from there, or we need to read sequentially, like from the Lotus feet you said, from Canto 1 and like that?
Very nice question. That's a very nice question. So there are two things. Prabhupada, he actually recommended that, we should going through Canto 1 and followed.
Okay.
However, we can read from anywhere as well. What happens? So why Prabhupada says normally what happens in general, when it comes to Bhagavatam, normally people reach towards the Krishna Lila and goes toward the Pancharasa Adhyaya, where is being the Rasa Lila comes over. So Rasa Lila, to understand that Rasa Lila, we should understand Krishna first. So to understand Krishna well, this whole 9th canto is actually makes a foundation. Whole 9th canto makes a foundation to understand the 10th canto properly. We discussed about yesterday about the 10 topics. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara sanukatha nirodho bhaktir ashraya. So ashraya, that is shelter, that is to take under feet of Krishna. So when we have complete surrender to Krishna, or when we know that okay, Krishna is Supreme Lord, then it's good to go towards 10 canto. So anyway, the question is right. We can read it. There is no problem in that. There is no harm in that, because every sloka of Bhagavatam gives us essence. So we can read it.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we will see chapter 4 tomorrow. I thought to finish 4, but anyway, it will take more 10 minutes. But we'll do chapter 4 tomorrow and carry on from there. So, and actually, till chapter 4 is a foundation of Canto 3 and Canto 4, where we'll be actually releasing a nice or nectarian topic discussed between Maitra Muni and Vidura. All glorious stories and teachings as well. Today's teachings was actually to take shelter of Guru, because Krishna, he himself came and took. Lord Rama, he took. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took. So there is a need of spiritual master in our life to take ahead. Okay, if there is no more questions, then thank you everyone. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow back.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.